Hey guys, welcome back to the Dustin Dean channel, and I am Dustin Dean, and today we are going to talk about how I'm going to winterize my bees and why. Okay, this is your typical, I live here in central Utah, and the winters get really cold. We get steep snow and below zero temperatures, and so what most people do is they have a brood chamber here. This is where the brood chamber is where the queen lays her eggs and stuff, in this chamber, and then also in this chamber, and that's common around here. And then what people do for extra measures is they'll take this this little box right here is what they call a medium, and that's what in our last video we extracted like 8 frames out of a medium. This is 10 frames. And so what a lot of people do is they'll leave that on for over the winter, and they say that's what you got to have to overwinter them. So that's not what we're going to do, and I'll tell you why. Alright, before we start, I got to take the sticker off because I don't do free advertisement. There. Now we don't know who that is. And if this is your box and you make it, I will leave your sticker on there for a small fee. This is empty hive, but for demonstration purposes, this is what my winter boxes will look like. Just the bottom board, the deep, lid, inner cover, and just this. This is it. This is my whole winter. This is what they'll live in the whole entire winter. So we're going to go from 3 boxes just to 1 box in the winter time. And a lot of professional beekeepers out there is saying that I'm nuts. Bees will never survive that way, and I call BS on that one. And this is the reason why I think the way I think. Okay guys, this is what got me into beekeeping right here. This is a nursery planting pot. I'm guessing maybe 15 gallons, and so I got another pot right here. So what happened was this was on the property. This is kind of stacked in like this, about halfway. So the halfway mark right here, bees came through these holes and took up residence in this halfway mark. And then for 2-3 years, I was fascinated watching them go in and out, and I hired a beekeeper to, guys, this is like 3 years watching these bees. I hired a beekeeper to come and take out the comb and put it in a box. This was the beginning of my love affair for beekeeping. So he separates these two. There was enough comb that every ounce of it fit inside a 10 frame nuke box. So this is a 10 frame nuke box, 10 of these frames. So he every ounce of that comb he put in here. And so there's some things that I kind of noticed. The wall thickage on these on this box. You can see how thick the wall of this is. This to me seems like it's more insulated and better than what them bees were living in a plantern, which was like a really thin walled plastic. And I'm thinking plastic gets colder. The only reason why they were in shade, year-round shade. So there's another thinking right there. This bees have to be in sunlight all the time. Well, they proved wrong on that one too. They're year-round shade, and they lived in horrible conditions year after year. Might I add, this is going to piss off some more beekeepers too. Without the help of mankind did they survive. Without having to put pesticide controls in with their bees to control the mites and to control other hive beetles and wax moths and so forth, that these bees were able to do that themselves without the help of idiots, sorry, of mankind. So my method of beekeeping is about the only thing I really kind of manipulate the bees is doing is I'll put a queen excluder on one frame, and then I'll put the honey box on top of there, and it reduces the amount of bees that she can produce, and so the surplus to feed her bees and the extra, they fill that full of honey. That's the secret of how I was able to have a nuke produce over 20 pounds of honey, 25 pounds of honey. It was because of that. So we're in September. I'm reducing my bees down and giving them plenty of time to be kind of what they call honey bound, where they make a lot of honey in there and not much room for the queen to lay. Okay, I'm not making this video to kind of knock what beekeepers do out there, and if having a double frame, a double brood box hive is working for you, and then on top of that putting 60 pounds of honey on top of them after that, if that's working for you, then continue to do that by all means. But I'm just telling you my story, and the reason why I do it is simply just observing nature. And if bees can survive in this year after year after year, well, then they can survive in the, what would this be, the Marriott compared to the Motel 8. And so yeah, this is the way I do it and the reason why I do it. So now you know. Okay guys, this is one of my efforts in preparing for winter. Is I have two deeps, and this is where the queen is, and she used to come up here and lay in both boxes. And then I had on top of here, I had supers with honey on there, and so I'm reducing her down to just one box. I put the queen excluder in here, and I'm basically getting every ounce of honey I can out of this year. And so this used to be solid brood. This whole pattern right here was a solid frame of brood. If I get the camera woman to give a close-up up here, so you can see here, here's the capped brood. This isn't honey, this is babies that haven't been born yet. And notice in between right here, you see that shiny stuff? That's nectar right through here. So as the babies are being born, they're filling in their own holes. They're filling in their own comb. So this will eventually be one solid frame of honey, and yep, that's kind of my one step towards winter time, and also reduces the bee population. And it lets her know that she's got plenty of bees. She needs to slow down on laying bees. I think it's healthier for, that's just a thought, not scientist. It just makes sense that it's healthier for her not to be pushed to her maximum. She can just kind of, I think for the longevity of her life, and not being forced to lay to her full capacity, if that makes sense. Them are big words for me. Sorry. Okay, so I also kind of want to talk about my my mite treatment program. I get a lot of people saying, yeah, but what are you going to do about the mites? How are you going to treat your mites? What are you going to do? And a lot of concern. So I'm an organic beekeeper, which means I don't treat them. They treat themselves. And my single brood box is part of my mite treatment program. Is that they will swarm more frequently, and just like in the wild, I believe that cuts down on the mites. And who's to say that when they swarm, we know that they swarm with the ill queen or an old queen, but who's to say that they don't pick who goes with that queen, judging off of their health conditions? And so maybe this hive look at it as one organism, sends out the bad queen with the bad bees, and now this remains healthy. And so the more times they're able to cleanse themselves of the bad bees, then they remain healthy. And then that group of that swarm actually has a chance to go start a whole new life, and the cycle continues over and over again. And so that's kind of my mite treatment program, is letting your bees swarm. I believe that's the key ingredient to keeping your mite population down. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and I would be very interested in hearing you guys' thoughts on this, and we'll see you in the next one.